On this week's show, the Georgia Southern men and women's basketball teams with plenty of action in town, as well as the Georgia Southern baseball team having their home opener against Georgia Tech. All that and more as we welcome you inside the Eagles Nest. And welcome inside the Eagles Nest. I'm your host, Josh Aubrey, being joined by Mike Anthony, the Georgia Southern beat writer and sports editor for the Statesboro Herald. Mike, plenty to get to. Basketball and baseball getting underway. The Eagle baseball team wins 1 of 3 on the road at Georgia and then comes back home to take on Georgia Tech. But let's begin with basketball. Things didn't start out too well on Saturday. They both lost. The women lost a close one. The guys never really in it after having Mike Hughes out. And of course, when you're losing your second leading scorer and you're playing the number one team, recipe for a tough night.
Yeah, it seemed like the Eagles had been putting things together. They were really in a rhythm, but with such a young team, when you take a piece out of that, we saw it a couple games ago with Ike Smith out of the lineup. They struggled at South Alabama. Same story with Mike Hughes out of the lineup, just weren't able to get that offense clicking. Little Rock shows exactly why. Not only they're at the top of the conference standings, but also now being projected as a potential bubble team by ESPN in that bracketology, even if they wouldn't win the Sun Belt Conference tournament. But the Eagles able to bounce back, get right back in the thick of things during the week games.
That's right. We had Georgia State in town. It was kind of an odd matchup because you had the women playing on Monday, the guys playing on Tuesday, an electric atmosphere for the guys game. The women kind of let one get away, and the guys were able to win a close game, which they've been able to do a little bit, and the women have had trouble closing the door.
Yeah, looking at the women's team, just another heartbreaker. The second time this season at home, they've lost on a last-second shot. They were able to erase a deficit against Georgia State in the final couple of minutes, take a lead with about 8 seconds left, but Georgia State hits a turnaround jumper with less than a second to go. Angel McGowan, the leading scorer all year for the Eagles, had a good look, had a shot that was on line, hit off the front of the rim, so the Eagles go down there. They're not quite out of the picture yet from making that Sun Belt tournament, but they'll need to not only win at least one of their remaining games, probably 2 of their remaining games, they'll also likely need a good bit of help along the way from the rest of the conference. A bunch of teams still vying for that 8th and final spot. The guys, on the other hand, a big win against Georgia State. You knew it wouldn't be pretty. This is a defensive struggle every time these two teams meet. It looked like Georgia Southern might run away early, especially with Mike Hughes back in the lineup, playing very well, scoring 21 points, really pacing the team there in the first half. But Georgia State, they come back, lead at times throughout the second half. Georgia Southern, though, just a little bit too strong down the stretch. A crucial win. Now they're sitting or continuing to sit in 5th place. They have the ability to go up maybe a couple spots, but they're going to need some more wins down the stretch as well.
All right, well, let's get out and see some highlights from the Georgia State games, as well as Georgia Southern hosting Appalachian State on senior night. The Georgia Southern women hosting Georgia State in a rare Monday night matchup in Hanner. First half action, and the Panthers hot from outside. Makiba Ponder will hit the three-pointer. The Eagles would answer from downtown themselves. Alexis Sams for 3. More from behind the arc. This time it's Angel McGowan ringing up 3 of her team-high 20. Next inside we go, where Sierra Butler somehow gets this jump hook to fall. And then check out the moves in the open floor by McGowan, the hoop and the foul, tying the game. Later, down by 2, Alexis Folks will give the Eagles a 1-point lead with the 3, but Georgia State proving to be too much as they go on to win a nail-biter by a final of 61-60. So to Tuesday we go, in a packed house for an ESPN2 game between Georgia Southern and Georgia State. And Mike Hughes answering any questions about his hurt ankle as he drains the 2. Next, Ike Smith finds Coy Simmons for 2 inside. Nice ball movement around the horn to Hughes, who drains the corner 3. Georgia State answers with the corner 3 themselves from Jeremy Hollowell. And then it's Kevin Ware penetrating in for the layup. Tied up, the Panthers go outside to Isaiah Williams for 3 of his game-high 22. But the Eagles respond. Hughes, 3 more of his team-high 21. Next, Tukey Brown penetrates driving for the hoop and the foul. Up by 3. And it's Hughes playing beat the clock. The 30-footer falls. And Georgia State down 6 at the half. The Eagles on top. Second half. And the Panthers make a run. TJ Shapes with the jam. Next, Williams hits another three-pointer. But the Eagles respond off the miss. Check out Coy Simmons throwing down the putback jam. Simmons then getting it done on both ends. Time winding down, and he'll reject Shipes' dunk attempt. Then seconds left, and Mike Hughes able to put the game on ice as the Eagles win a thriller 54-52.
Well, we've had some great games with them, and this one was like a couple of the other ones. I'm glad we came out on top. I'm really happy for the guys. In a game like this, when you win by 2, I believe our crowd pulled us through. Electric environment, the students, the whiteout, tremendous basketball environment. It's a great memory for our guys.
I was just trying to lead by example, and hopefully my team followed. And we played great in the first half. You know, we had some downs in the second half, but we stayed with it and got the win. So.
The Georgia Southern Eagles wrapping up their home schedule, getting ready to tango with Appalachian State. The last time these two teams met, it came down to a 4-point play for the win for Georgia Southern. Not this time around. It was all Eagles. Nice dish from DeVince Boykins to Coy Simmons. Boykins then spots Jake Alsmiller. He buries the 3. Georgia Southern up by 34. Tukey Brown then to Simmons for the two-handed flush. Brown then going himself, penetrating for 2 of his team-high 18 points. Brown then kicks out to Mike Hughes, one of his 7 assists. Hughes with 12 points in the game. Brown later penetrating in for 2 more. The nice left-hand finish. Still more from Tukey. This would give the Eagles a 39-point lead. And more fun for Georgia Southern. Aubrey McCray with one of 16 three-pointers for Georgia Southern. And finally, the steal ahead to DeVince Boykins for the jam. And the Eagles go on for the win, 88-63. Well, Mike, as for the Georgia Southern baseball team, took 1 of 3 on the road at Georgia. Did not hit the ball real well, pitched pretty well. And they have Georgia Tech coming in. You knew it was going to be a big atmosphere on Wednesday. And your thoughts on where the Georgia Southern baseball team is right now and what you think they need to do in order to start trying to make some progress.
Well, it's still very early in the season. Baseball, of all the sports, probably the one that you can take the least out of in the first couple of games. It's a much longer season. Things develop a little bit slower. You can have a great night one night and just be awful the next day. Georgia Southern trying to see what they can do in what projects to be a very tough Sun Belt once again this season. Not looking so great out in Athens over the first weekend of the season. A lot of what we saw in 2015 in terms of swinging and missing, a couple dozen strikeouts over 3 games. You remember the Eagles set a new NCAA record last year, whiffing 530 times. That's just entirely too many. Seems like they're on pace to once again be among one of the nation's leaders. Hopefully they can get that turned around. They've put a lot of emphasis on hitting the ball, putting the ball in play. When they do hit the ball, it goes a long way. We saw that in the 1 win, an extra inning victory. Ryan Cleveland, the big blow, a 10th inning 2-run homer to get the Eagles at least 1 in Athens. And then returning home, as you said, always a great atmosphere when Georgia Tech's in town.
Let's get out and see highlights of Georgia Southern and Georgia Tech. Eagle football head coach Tyson Summers bringing the heat, throwing out the first pitch prior to the baseball team's home opener with Georgia Tech. A nice crowd on hand. The Eagles trying to get something going in the second. Runner on first and second. Logan Baldwin with the perfect bunt. Next up, Evan McDonald, who does his job. The fly ball to center, plenty deep enough to plate the runner from third. Will Hudgens comes in, 1-0 Eagles on the mound. Landon Hughes going a strong 5 1/3, allowing 3 hits, 1 run, and 1 strikeout in the fourth. Hughes makes one bad pitch. Matt Gonzalez makes him pay. The solo shot ties the game at 1, but the Eagles able to respond in the 5th. C.J. Brazel with the RBI single. Logan Baldwin scores, and it's 2-1. Next up, Jordan Wren, whose base hit is misjudged, leading him to what would be ruled a triple. Brazel scores, and it's 3-1. Tech would manage to tie it at 3 off a couple unearned runs. We go to extra innings where the Eagle pitchers dominate. First, Hunter Phillips. Then a pretty impressive 3 1/3 innings in relief by Connor Simmons, who would allow 1 hit and 1 walk while striking out 5 Yellow Jacket batters. Trouble was, Georgia Tech playing solid in extra innings as well. Check out the catch in right by Kel Johnson, robbing extra bases. In the 15th inning, bases loaded, Byron Yelverton with the inning-ending strikeout. Looks like the Eagles may end up taking this one in the bottom of the 15th. Ryan Cleveland up, and caught at the wall by Ryan Purifoy. To the 16th we go, 2 on. Brandon Gold crushes this one to straightaway center. It's gone. 6-3 Tech. Looks like it's over, but the Eagles with one last chance. 2 on. Zach Cowart ropes the double down the left field line, making it a 1-run game. But that's the way this one would end. C.J. Ballard ends up grounding out, and the Eagles lose a heartbreaker by a final count of 6-5. A big series coming up with Radford this weekend. Georgia Southern with 4 games. Hopefully they can get something going against Radford, a pretty good team. Not a lot of people may know that. That's a pretty good program coming out this weekend. Get out there and support the Eagles. But for now, that'll wrap things up. For Mike Anthony, I'm Josh Aubrey. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.